Interesting points that you made there was about the teachers. And Aditya Pratap, you're a lawyer yourself. This, of course, is a very strong ruling that's come from the Supreme Court. Very strong words used as well. Words like manipulated, vitiated, process that has completely been completely corrupted. Now, the reality is 26,000 people, teachers, now losing their jobs. But the reality is not every one of them actually was involved in this process. Not every one of them had paid money to get the job. There are a lot of people who were not involved that actually also now are losing jobs because some person, some other people were involved in it. Again, is there any potential way to identify who are these people? And do you now believe that a lot of these innocents as well will now have to suffer the fate because of some corrupt babus and corrupt netas?
First and foremost, public duties, public jobs, public service is not someone's right. It is not their God-given entitlement. Oh, we have got our jobs. We can't lose these jobs. Public service. Secondly, government teaching. It is a sacred and sacrosanct job where the recruitment has to be done in compliance with the constitutional principles. It should be a corruption-free process. In fact, this is a brilliant judgment by the Supreme Court of India, which is a slap on the face of those babus who for decades have made money and done corruption in recruitment of constables, clerks, so many, public service commissions, shameful teachers. In the recruitment of teachers, you're making money. Shame on these people. In fact, Mamata Banerjee, I say that all the bureaucrats in the Mamata Banerjee government and who else is responsible, they are trying to use these 26,000 teachers as human shields, which should not be permitted. One strong judgment from the Supreme Court will ensure that public service commissions across the country will shudder at the thought of corruption
Aditya
infiltrating
Pratap,
the recruitment process.
you just heard Mamata Banerjee's response there. She says she accepts the verdict, but she does not welcome it. I'm not sure if she has any other option, but the reality is her party members, the MPs now, are coming out and saying that they will find an alternative arrangement for these people who are now suffering. Is there any constitutional way that they can actually find an alternative arrangement to people who have actually lost their jobs because of a massive scam?
Not at all. It's as simple. This is government service. It is governed by principles of equality of opportunity under Articles 14 and 16 of the Constitution of India. Article 14 says equality before law and equal opportunity of law. These 26,000 teachers cannot have any comfortable vacancies waiting for them in some other department. They should go and give the exam again. 55 lakh police constables, if you remember, wrote the exam again for the police bhartis in Uttar Pradesh, which happened recently. The first exam was set aside. Second exam went off well. And further, the Supreme Court has gone on very systematic law points in its judgment. Supreme Court said that when an in-depth factual inquiry reveals systemic irregularities such as malice or fraud that undermine the integrity of the entire selection process, the result should be cancelled in its
Aditya,
entirety.
are you, in simple words, are you now saying that the TMC promising these teachers an alternative arrangement is just a sham? They're lying to these teachers that there will be an alternative arrangement?
It's a sham. How can you give a gazetted or a notified public post on a preferential allotment? Means you are trying to repeat the same process which Supreme Court has set aside in its judgment. Rather, your candidates should have the courage to write the exam again. We have seen enough of public servants who think, "Arey, meri sarkari naukri ho gayi, ab main set ho gaya." Nothing doing. You're in public service. You should perform or you should perish, and perform with integrity.
Absolutely.
Enough. Today my blood boils at the thought how corruption like cancer has pervaded the system.